Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life.
All right. Might as well kick off. All right, everybody. Welcome to 2-Bit Idiots, episode 9, I believe. Is that right, Hats?
I thought it was 8. It could be 9.
I think it's 9.
Well, you could talk away and I'll check.
Yeah. Episode
No,
9.
it's 8.
Yeah.
It's
What?
8.
Is it?
Yeah. The last one with Catan was number 7. So unless you've done something I've not been aware of.
Fuck.
You want to start again, Brendan?
Welcome to episode 8 of 2-Bit Idiots. I'm Bitcoin Brendo. With me we have Stacking Hats, of course. Tonight's episode, we actually don't really have any particular agenda or talking points, which could be a miserable failure, but whenever the microphones aren't in front of us, we have absolutely no problem waxing lyrical about Bitcoin. So this will be a good test, I suppose.
Turn off now. or stay tuned for a free ball and laugh.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, great, thanks. I don't know if it's tonight specifically, but I do want to at some stage talk about property.
Property, okay.
Yep. So,
well, I have talked to you about a friend of mine that is fairly versed in that area, so we could still approach him potentially.
He's keen to come on, or you?
He's happy to, yeah.
Okay. But he's not from Bitcoin world at all.
Not at all. The only thing he knows
good.
about Bitcoin is the stuff that I rabbit on with, and he's
so he doesn't know much then.
No, and I think he's not particularly interested in it.
That's good. That's good. We should have people like that because let's face it, 95% of the 98%, 99% of the population is exactly that. So
one thing I wonder though is like having him on. Is it are we just going to grill him as to why he's not into Bitcoin, or are we going to go rightio, ask us questions? Like I'm not really sure how that format's going to work, but it would be good to have a no coiner on, and he would be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want. The idea of this is not to bring people on and like rug pull them, I should say. Sorry.
Right.
You don't, that's not the point, right? We're not trying to trip people up. If somebody comes on and is just shilling a shitcoin, okay, maybe that we might not be too keen on that. But generally, if somebody comes on and is openly asking us questions, I'm not wanting to make them look like an idiot.
No.
I wouldn't want to be made look like an idiot. But it's just, you have to just come with that genuine intention, don't you? And if it's your friend, we're not going to.
No, that's true.
Be a complete nightmare. Hopefully we're not. But I think it'd be genuinely interesting to have somebody, or lots of people who are coming at it from different angles, different countries.
Yeah.
We've got a guy coming on from Turkey.
Yeah, that's cool.
Next week. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Because I have said this before, but you're going to get used to me saying that. I think I've said this before. My memory's pretty poor.
Oh, I did the same.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Or did I mention this to you? Was
Yeah.
Was it you I was talking to when?
But do you know what? I think that's the first signs of covering your dementia. Do you not think?
I've been dementing for fucking 10 years.
Yeah, well, yeah. My dad does it too, which isn't a good sign. But then he's 70 odds and
he's fine.
He's I think he's fine.
Yeah.
So he's maybe just talking crap. What was I saying? Yeah, so got a guy coming on from Turkey.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really interesting. Now, that's actually the purpose of that chat is going to be about podcasts, but because he's going to start up a Bitcoin podcast in Turkey, and I don't want to give the whole thing away, but he wants to come on and talk about that. And I said to him, well, why not we just, we've got nothing to hide. Just come on and let's talk about it. And we'll, ask the questions live, and we'll just answer them live, and or live or recorded, I guess. But but it's as good as live because we don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And then. But also, I'm really keen to understand what the situation is in Turkey or anywhere. Now, obviously, we're going to have, for some places, we'll have language barriers, but this chap's got English, and his English is perfect, so it makes us look like idiots, so that's fine.
All right, well, that's exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. It should be good.
Well, okay, but back to property. Well, let's actually talk about that in some form.
Okay, so I had a conversation a few weeks ago with a no coiner, a stranger. The guy was a stranger, and he was a bit of a dickhead. So let's
makes sense.
Yeah, okay. But a dickhead who owned, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't really pay too much attention, but he wanted to tell me, how much money he was making in property, right? How many properties he had, and how much money he was making, and how clever he was.
Yes.
And I was obviously triggered, thinking, no, that's not happening. But it's very difficult when you're talking to a stranger just to, just lead with you're a complete and utter moron. You've no idea what's going on here. But here's the point. So we're obviously in Australia, the property market, well, Australia is, I wouldn't say driven by property, but it's a huge chunk of the Australian economy.
Oh, massive, yeah.
And much like, I'm Scottish, much like over there, people see it as a way to, you buy an investment house, if a second home, and you, that's how you get ahead by having a second home and charging somebody a rent and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and that's, I don't know if it's just naturally happened in Australia, or if it was one came to the other, or it's just a coincidence or whatever, but it's the same, and we're very similar. But
I think it has evolved. Like growing up, it was always just the one dream home. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, Australians have this quarter-acre block thing, right? Do you know about that?
I don't know.
Oh, right. So maybe that's not an Australian thing.
Maybe, I don't know.
But no, that to me, I've never known that as I never knew that saying, even the saying, until I came here.
Explain it.
Like having a house on a quarter acre. I think it's a quarter acre. Is that this? Oh God, I'm doubting myself now. Welcome to the live show. Yeah. So, like having a house, a yard, and a bit of space.
Oh yeah.
That's like the
the
Australian dream. The backyard,
very Australian.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that is not the case now. I mean, you can't afford it.
No.
Nobody can. Even we're regional Australia. You can't afford it here. Not really.
No.
Certainly can't afford it in cities.
Not large block. That's for sure.
No. And you look at what they're building now. They're building. You fart in your toilet, and the guy in the next house toilet hears you. Like that's like.
That takes me back to us sharing a room in Murrayfield.
A story for another time.
Going bush bash.
Yeah. Go to the bush bash. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's a loud phone.
Apologies. I'll turn it off. So. Hang on. How do you shut this down? Do not disturb. There we go. Right. So. That doesn't exist anymore. But okay. So this guy, is telling me how clever he was, and I was saying, well, what's inflation doing? Are you beating inflation? And all of a sudden he's not a clue what I'm talking about, right? And that's okay, but if you let's say you buy a house for $500,000, right? Good luck, because you're finding one. But so you bought a house for $500,000, and over the course of 10 years, it goes to, I don't know, $700,000, right? And that's low in these times, in the sense of the gain. So most people, I believe, are sitting there going, oh, aren't I so clever? I'm getting rich. Or I'm getting richer.
By seeing the value of their property go up.
They see their own personal wealth very much as part of how much their house is worth. Because it's a big chunk of what you own.
Yeah.
Even if it's got a mortgage on it, most people don't consider they say they own it, but they actually only own like 14% of it.
Yeah.
So, or whatever they own. But so people are very much tied up to the wealth of their property. But so who actually ever benefits from that? So if you have a house in the city and you move regionally or to the country, yes, you'll probably sell. Well, hang on, let's rewind that a second. Nobody wants to move to a worse house.
No.
When have you ever gone, I'm going to leave this house and move to a worse house? And that's nobody's dream.
Yeah.
Okay,
unless you're a Bitcoiner.
Yeah, okay, true. You're living in a tent somewhere and stacking your sats with your hamster wheel powered satellite dish or what, I don't know. But right, so nobody wants to move to a worse house, right? So if you move out of the city and you move to regional, I'm just talking Australia here, but this mostly applies around the world. Move to regional Australia, yes, the equivalent house or a better house may be less in value. So you have got ahead, right?
And a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people moving
True.
up out of city, out of cities, because they want the space.
And and COVID has only made that faster, right? So yes, okay, I concede that is true. Also, maybe older folks who, you know, they've had 3 kids have moved out. You're ready to downsize. You're selling your 5-bedroom house that you bought in 1982, and you're now living in a 3-bedroom house in the same town, but it was cheaper, so you've freed up some of the money. So yes, you got ahead. Or somebody moving into aged care.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably a poor example because aged care is very expensive. So there are some people who are getting ahead, but really, if you or I, let's say it's you, and you have a 3-bedroom house, and you decide your house has gone up by 20% over X number of years, and you think you're getting richer, and you want to move out of that house into another house, well, you just need another 3-bedroom house, and you don't want it to be a worse house, so you're obviously probably looking for a better house, right? So, but the whole market, if you don't leave the market that you're in, the whole market has gone up 20%. And actually, I would argue that the premium stuff is probably going up more. So you're actually, if 20% on your 500 grand house is less than the 20% on the house that used to be 600 grand. So you've actually lost. Yeah. You're losing. You think you're getting richer, and you're losing. Yeah. So this sort of identity thing, having your wealth tied up in your house, in an asset that is not keeping up with. Yes, it's keeping up with. It's beating cash. If you're going to have your money in cash, don't do that. Yeah. Have it in a house or have it in some sort of an asset. And a house is better than the cash, but it is not as good as Bitcoin.
No, that's right. So, and this comes back to is it Keynesian or Keynesian?
So it's John Maynard Keynes.
Keynes. So people say Keynesian.
Keynes. Keynes. Keynesian. I don't know. I say Keynesian.
So is that kind of the crux of the Keynesian argument as far as inflation goes?
Well, it's really just goes. We have to have growth in our economy to prosper. So that's the thought, and that's what
as far as productivity and.
So like you'll have heard this, you have to, increase your GDP by 2% per annum or something to, that kind of speak, which is true in a world where you are debasing the currency by 2%, right? Yeah. So just to keep stable, that is true. To grow. That's true. You have to grow.
You're constantly chasing your own tail, basically.
So that goes to Jeff Booth's argument. Now, disclaimer, I love Jeff. Jeff, come on the pod. Jeff is an absolute legend. He maintains his composure better than anyone this whole...
You can't see us, obviously, but Hats is wearing a I Love Jeff shirt.
And I'm blushing right now. No, but Jeff's a legend. So go read Jeff's book. It's called The Price of Tomorrow. Why deflation is the key to an abundant future.
Something like that.
Something like that. Anyway, Jeff Booth, go read his book. But his whole point is, in a world that requires... How do you solve... the environmental issues that let's there's a whole lot of debate there, but let's say we're overusing resources, which I think that's probably not controversial. So how do you solve that problem when a world that requires growth to be successful? You can't.
No.
You just make the problem. So let's say it's 2%. If it's 2% this year and it's 2% of a bit more, 2% of a bit more, 2% of a bit more, of course the problem's going to get worse. Yeah. I never connected those dots before I read Jeff's book, and I was like, it's so simple.
And you've admitted to me before you're not a massive reader, so that...
I'm a terrible reader.
Yeah. No, we're not a terrible reader. I'm sure you're literate.
Oh no,
you just don't enjoy. I don't sitting down with a book, I suppose.
No, I'm not. I'm actually not a good reader. So like I like one of these guys who has to read a page over and over again before it sinks in. So I find it really difficult, and that's why podcasts have been good for me, because I'm visual. I'm very visual. So and obviously not the podcast and visual, but like a YouTube or a podcast. For me, it's been way better than reading the book. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm asking that question as a librarian who also barely reads. So there you go.
That's like the.
I scroll like a motherfucker, but
yeah. It's so if you're sitting in a house right now and thinking you're getting richer because you're looking on realestate.com.au or Domain or whatever you're looking at, and the price of houses in your street has gone up 10% in the last year, and you think you're a legend, I'm sorry to disappoint you. You're not, because when you're moving out of that house, whenever you're moving out of that house, unless you're older and downsizing, moving regionally, or potentially, a smaller family situation, you're spending more money to get the next house.
Yeah.
You have to be.
Or
you're moving to a worse area, whatever you consider that to be.
So my wife and I feel like we're in our forever house. We love it. We love the location we're in.
Is that because you live around the corner from me?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Oh, doxy. Is that a bit doxy?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
We'll stay there. So I never, when people talk about, the value of the street, like the neighbours go, you hear about how much this one sold for? And I'm like, cool. Like I'm not, we're not going to sell. So
yeah.
They really
you don't really care.
Not at all. Like
that's a really nice thing.
We're refinancing. We've had a valuation done because of the refinance, and it's come back really good. But
because it helps you because you're not trying to sell it. You're not trying to.
Yeah, but I don't get any kind of joy. I suppose if I was someone who was going to pack up and move every now and then you go, yeah, cool. But
yes, but okay, but let's say you had $100,000 worth of equity in a $500,000 house.
Yes.
Okay, and then all of a sudden, the value of that house is $600,000.
Yeah.
You've got $200,000 worth of equity, right?
Yes.
You didn't get any more debt in there. You got more equity in that property, right? So potentially you can use that. Oh, very good. You can use that the equity to borrow at a better rate, or take it all, put it in a Bitcoin, speculatively attack the dollar. But so that's good for you. You're not. That's somebody who's not. But that's nothing to do with the housing market, right?
No,
that's your situation, which is a good situation to be in.
Yeah.
The only other one, which I should mention, is obviously for people have, if you have a second home, and it is an investment.
Yeah.
Well, that's not necessarily such a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because an investment, if you have to sell the investment, you don't necessarily have to go buy something else to live in because you're not living in that one already.
No.
So the idea of property as as part of your wealth is more applicable if it's a second home or a third. Some people get a ridiculous number.
Yeah.
So, but even still, it's not a liquid asset.
No.
Not really. If you need to sell your house tomorrow, well, good luck. You're not selling it tomorrow. You might sell it in 3 weeks, or taking a low ball offer, or you might sell it in 6 weeks, but you're not going to sell it tomorrow. Whereas Bitcoin, I need to
or get money in your pocket like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas your Bitcoin, worst case scenario, it's a completely liquid market. You can always sell your Bitcoin. I would never sell it. I should, if you should never sell your Bitcoin, yes. But if you had to sell your Bitcoin for, let's say, a family emergency or a health problem or something, you need to go to a private hospital for specialist care or and the hospital wasn't accepting Bitcoin, it's all very well to say you're never going to sell it, but circumstances change for people.
Do you know what I wonder? How many Bitcoiners are out there who are anti-vax, who are now in a position, and I don't want to go to the vaccine, but who are now in a position where they don't want to get a vaccination, but they're, the whole no jab, no job.
Yeah.
And are they, how many, and there's got to be a few, are now in a position where they're like, fuck, I've got no choice.
I stick with my ethics and morals, so yes. I'm not going to go to work.
Yes,
is that what you mean?
Yeah, but they don't have a job to go to, and they obviously have bills and everything.
And they have no cash. They have no cash flow.
But they've got Bitcoin.
Yeah.
How hard would that be to actuly go, right, I have to sell my Bitcoin to
So your question right now is, do I sell my Bitcoin or do I sell out my myself?
Yeah.
Right? That's a horrible thought, isn't it?
Isn't it? I feel for those people.
Yeah. No, listen, see these people, right? So quickly on the vaccine, just because I don't want to skip it particularly.
No, okay.
I think that it's just choice. If you believe the vaccine is a good idea for you, get the vaccine. If you don't believe the vaccine is a good idea for you, don't get the vaccine. Don't let anybody tell you what you should or shouldn't do with your own health. And if you really feel strongly about it, I really salute the people who are just quitting jobs or being fired at work because they're being told that they can't come to work for not getting a vaccine. That is an absolute abomination. Like
it's courageous, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't know what people's circumstances. You know, 3 kids and a mortgage and you don't know, right?
Yeah,
it's really difficult for people. But there are plenty of people now standing up and doing that, and I just hope that those people, there's enough of them to sort of, it's just safety in numbers. If enough people stand up and say this is not acceptable. It won't be. I'm not going into a cafe that requires. Well, frankly, right now I can't go anywhere.
You can go. You can get a takeaway from.
Sorry. Okay. Yes. Good.
Yeah.
But I'm not. But I refuse. And there are businesses in our local town that are not opening because they refuse to. Segregate people. Yeah. And fair play, like, because that's hurting them in the pocket.
And they're desperate to open too, the poor buggers. Yeah.
And I'm consciously looking around going, okay, who are these businesses? Because if and when they're able to open, I will be supporting them. They're the first businesses I'm going into because they're the people you want to be supporting. Yeah. People who are standing up when it's not in their own best interests, other than where they morally stand. That is all I'm saying about the vaccine. I don't want to go, people can have their own opinions and they don't really need to hear mine, but like that's...
totally. I mean, I come from a spot where I'm very much the same, where I think people's actual personal choice with their body is being taken away from them, and that's not okay. I also have a nephew who is immunocompromised, and so for him it's very important that people around him are vaccinated and not necessarily spread. I know there's a lot of there'll probably be if people are listening and they're are going to say people with COVID vaccine can still get and spread COVID. Yeah. I don't know whether that's true or not. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But yeah, I'm really torn.
Yeah, it's a difficult subject, and people should be allowed to make up their own minds. Simple as that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not going to criticise.
Well,
your decision because you think you're doing the right thing.
Northern Territory now, I think there's a $5,000 fine if you don't get the jab.
For anyone?
I'm pretty sure. I have to check it, but that's like mandated. That's a first, surely.
Oh yeah, that just scares me. And it makes me sad. Like that's not right on any level. But anyway, it's a Bitcoin podcast, and it's going to be positive. Right. It's whatever night it is, Friday night.
Yeah, there you go. Vaccine mandate, Northern Territory. That won't.
Well, here's the thing, right? I just keep saying I want to move away from it. It's very difficult to move away from it. But if you got countries like Norway, Sweden, and Denmark now that are saying no vax passport, right?
But they had one, yes, and then they went no. It's
well,
not
their
work.
I think their vaccination levels are actually quite high. So a lot of people have chosen to be vaccinated or been coerced. Depends which way you see it. But they're saying no passport, right? None of this. You can't go in a shop if you've not been vaccinated, type thing, right?
Yeah.
So are the rest of the countries in the world seriously? Northern Territory. Are their Northern Territory seriously saying that nobody from Norway, Sweden, or Denmark is ever coming into the country again, or the state again? Are they seriously suggesting that?
I don't know.
Because I think my great hope is that ultimately, it's not going to be people's, opinions that are going to matter. It's going to be their pocket, their wallet, right? If some billionaire from Norway wants to come and do something in Darwin, and he's not allowed, they'll find a way to allow it, and then all of a sudden one's allowed, everyone's allowed. So that's what I hope at. But I mean,
this is a bit like Johnny Depp and his dogs coming on the plane to Australia.
What did he do again?
He just didn't. The normal customs things with animals, you got to quarantine them for 30 days or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Being a celebrity, he was just allowed to just have his dogs on the plane. And then I think it was Barnaby Joyce got all. You didn't say that?
Yeah, I think I know. Yeah, don't start me on Barnaby Joyce.
Nah, beetroot head.
God. Oh yeah. The world is going to shit, people, but there is hope.
Yeah, we're getting very political.
But there is hope.
Yeah,
and that's what I have to try. That's what I keep trying to get across to people is that it's not the what is happening in the world just now is absolutely shit. But you can step aside. You can step away from the whole thing. You just
the
Bitcoin is the hope that you want. It's a very dark. If Bitcoin did not exist, it's a very, very dark place right now, and so that's where I try and for all that I'm critical of I'm certainly critical of the shit coiners, but I'm sometimes critical of the no coiners. Like, how many times do you have to be told?
Yes.
But you have to be sympathetic to this. A lot of them are living in this very dark place right now. If you did, so how would you feel if you didn't know, right? Like,
I don't know. To be honest, I've thought that. Like, I thought if I was in a situation where I had to actually sell all my Bitcoin and then just go on without
hope the government's going to protect you forever.
Oh, that would be really, really hard.
Hope your pension's there when you retire.
Yeah. If I didn't know anything about Bitcoin, then I feel like maybe I'd just be a cow in a paddock without a TV. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know any different.
Oh yeah, okay, I get you. It's a dark place, I think, for anybody who's, say you're somebody with no Bitcoin, and all you're seeing right now. Let's say you're a renter. All you're seeing now is your rent's increasing, your fuel increasing, your food bill increasing, your power bill increasing, and your wages stagnant.
Yeah.
Like people, and here's the worst of it, right? And I'll go somewhere else in a second, but I think people in that situation will feel shame. I think that's the emotion they're going to feel, because you used to, let's say you got a couple of kids, or it doesn't matter, you don't have to have a couple of kids, but you used to provide for somebody, even as just yourself, right?
Yeah.
You used to provide, doing what you did, you used to provide, and all of a sudden you're not providing as well as you used to, and that's people will feel terrible about themselves because of that, and they have done nothing wrong, right?
Yeah.
And so if you feel if that strikes a chord with anybody out there, and you're in you feel like you're in a worse situation just now compared to 12 months ago, and you really haven't changed anything, you're still earning your wage and all that kind of stuff, but everything just seems to be getting tougher, that is not your fault. That is something that's happening. It's frankly because too much money is being printed. So, first of all, you have to know it's not your fault.
Yeah.
But there are also things you can do about it. And a suggestion is, $1 a day or something, whatever is affordable for you, $1 a day in the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And just do that and watch your hope come back.
Yeah.
Because it gave me hope. And so, one other thing is, I would quite like at some point to do a pod about depression.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into it just now, but I would. And if there's somebody out there who thinks that they would like to come on and talk about that, it's a hard topic. But I genuinely...
That's actually a really good idea, I think, particularly in this environment that we're in.
I've had my issues, and there'll be a lot of people have. So, and I'll happily talk about them. And if somebody else wants to come on and either, from a professional point of view, not to give me counselling or something, I feel good though, thank you. But but yeah, I've had my problems. So, and I credit Bitcoin not with everything, but with a big chunk of my mental health being 100-fold better than it used to be.
Yeah.
So if anybody fancies that, hit us up in the DMs and
let's do that.
If anybody's keen for that, because that would
for sure.
All right, so like COVID and depression. What a great excitement! You got a joke for us?
Well, that's what we did say. No agenda.
All right. Oh, price stamp.
Price stamp.
Beginning of the show.
Yeah, that's all right.
Price stamp. Right, let me go. Give me a country.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Over the pond.
Bitbo. Shout out for Bitbo.
Bitbo.io, is that it? Did I make that up?
No, I think it is. It might be .co.
Oh, shit.
I know. New Zealand dollars, 81,764 and 3 cents, up 4.5%.
81?
81,763.
That means
up 4.5% on the day.
Nice.
Go to Kiwis. You got this, Kiwis. Go and stack. I don't know where's the stack. Where do you stack in New Zealand? Where's your DCA option in New Zealand?
There is.
Is there?
I looked into it, I think, because I've got an old Xbox mate in NZ, and he's a
Bitcoiner. He's a stacker.
No, he bought $50 of Bitcoin 12 months ago.
I was going to say 12 years ago.
No, 12 months ago.
Yeah.
Like when I started rabbiting on about it, and
right.
I'm like, you need to keep buying. You need to buy more.
He's still got his $50.
He does. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah. He can buy an Xbox, another Xbox.
Yeah. But at least he's alright. But are you checking Bitbo?
I am. Bitbo.io.
There's
Everything's bloody .io now. What's that about?
I don't know.
What's going to be
It's
the
a
next one?
type thing. I will if you can work that out. We'll buy all the domains. You want to talk about that?
Yeah,
let's talk about that.
.tv. I remember .tv was a thing for a
games.
while. .games.
I don't
yeah,
remember
there's.
But
Well, let's do that. Let's talk about domains. Yeah, shit.
Yeah, let's talk about domains. So, I have a compulsion. So I do two things.
Compulsion, correct.
Compulsion. I stack like a madman. And when I say that, I don't mean I stack a lot of money. I just stack all the time. And yeah, I buy domains, and I've done that for a while.
Yeah.
And then Brendo's in on the action now too. We got a bit excited about how long ago was that? 6 months ago? No,
I think
more.
it was
no,
more.
it's like
Probably,
beginning of the year.
Well, it's October 2021
Oh, shit,
now.
the bill's
I reckon
coming due.
It would.
Oh no. So we buy domains. we sat.
WeBuyDomains.com.
Yeah, that's probably it. The and yeah, honestly, I really wanted. So we own sell your home for Bitcoin.com.
Yep.
I'm gonna sell that to realestate.com.
Yep.
For a gazillion Bitcoins.
Yep.
I'm not accepting any less than a gazillion. And then
very, very Sats centric domains.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
obviously
Yes.
Sats is the standard.
So that says the standard. Well, that's where it's going. So you have to, so when we first started, I've been doing it for a while, but I've got lots of funny domains. But I own oldphilmickelson.com.
Sorry, just what? Oh, that's right.
Remember when he won the? What did he win?
Yeah.
What did he win?
Oh, I don't know. Something. Golf.
Yeah, he won a major.
He won at golf.
He was the first. Yeah. No, sorry. I'm
The green
golf
jacket, the
tragic as
Masters.
well.
Was it the Masters? That's the only one I know about. You're the golfer.
I know, that's terrible. Anyway, so I got excited when he won the major, and I then went and bought oldphilmickelson.com. Yeah, so sorry, it fell if you're out there.
Tell me.
Cheers, mate. You can have it for free.
Tell me the most obscure domain that you still have and you don't know why.
No, it's yours.
Mine.
Brendo was. We go halfers, right? Brendo owns sexforsats.com.
That was funny though, because that was kind of a joke, but it was like, do you want it? I'm like, yeah,
Man, I'm like, yeah,
why
I can see some value in that one, really, seriously.
Sex
Like, OnlyFans, you're out there.
Yeah, that's right. No, what about, prior to, I guess, me coming on board with domains, you were just saying you've been doing it for a little while. Have you got some weird ass one that you...
I've had a few. Oh, God, I couldn't even tell you. Like a lot of them have lapsed. I kind of got thinking about it again when Sailor came on the scene. When Michael Saylor came on the scene, and he told the story of owning Hope.
Voice.
That was it.
Yeah,
so he owns Hope.com, and that goes to his Bitcoin site, which is awesome. Go look at Hope.com.
He sold Voice to The Voice, didn't he? I thought he
to The Voice, like as in the TV show.
That's what I thought
No,
the story was.
I think he sold it to... He bought it years ago.
Yeah.
And then somebody came and offered him, like, I don't know, like $1 million or something for it.
And he said
Well,
no.
go look at it. Type it just now. And he said no. Or I don't know. Like, you don't phone up MicroStrategy and speak to Michael. You speak to 4 people before you get to Michael, right?
Sorry, I've typed in voice.com and the heading is here. NFTs for everyone. Create and earn together.
No.
Yeah.
Really? Michael,
Are we getting this wrong?
No, we're not. I don't think... whoever he sold it to has gone shitcoin. I don't think that's getting
Voice.com.
That says voice.beta.
No, yeah,
does
the address is voice.com.
No way.
What the fuck is that?
There you go. So whoever came to MicroStrategy and wanting to buy voice.com have now gone full shitcoin.
But that was like 30 million or something.
$30 million he sold it for, yeah. Because they just kept coming back with a bigger and bigger offer. So I then got excited and started buying. You go on Google and you buy, or Google domains, and you buy, $20 for a domain for a year. So it's exciting. Like just go do it. If anybody's listening to that and you have a good idea, go look. But if you go looking at Bitcoin domains, you really struggle because they are gone, right? But go look for Satoshi domains.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Fat Sats.
What?
Fat Sats.
Fatsats.com. I don't know.
I like that. There you go.
Who wants it?
I don't know. Should we get that before it goes?
So it's probably gone already.
I reckon we should actually tag Sailor in that and say what happened to Voice. What happened to Voice.com?
Well, also your thing from the other day. Where does stackingsats.com go?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Tesla. Elon Musk still owns stackingsats.com.
So Elon, what Elon says is he's talking to the Dodge developers or whatever crap he's coming out with today about Bitcoin, or about shitcoins.
Yeah.
But he's still got his $1 billion or whatever he bought.
1.5, wasn't it?
I don't remember. He sold some as a liquidity test, but he's still got 90% of it. And he's moved his headquarters to Austin, Bitcoin capital of the world, and he owns StackingSats.com.
Yeah.
Elon, say what you mean, mate.
That's right.
Say what you mean.
What was your reply to my tweet? It was something like, watch what they do, not what they say.
Yeah, watch what they do.
That's pretty
Watch what
true.
they do, not what they say. Exactly. It's the same in, like, you look at the media now. It's the same thing. Look, watch what they're up to.
Yeah.
What they're talking about is crap. What's this? Let's give a shout out to Sven, because he
Star Fury.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty certain the signal, not the noise.
Oh, that's the best.
That's definitely the randomness of the world, and then the pulse of Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's Sven.
That's Sven.
That is Sven.
That's a great meme.
I think it's the best one he's done.
Yeah, it's very good. Like it's just.
You know what? It's probably fairly simple for what he can now do, because he's very sophisticated with what he can do. But that is just brilliant.
It really is. I love it, and it's just the power of a picture. Like, we could talk for the rest of our life.
NFT.
Don't do that, Sven.
Yeah.
The power. Like, we could talk for the rest of our life and not get the point across as well as a meme that somebody created in.
I know.
20.
It's a crazy world now.
20 I realised that one wasn't 20 seconds, but do you know what I mean? Like,
I like the idea too of, like, 10, 15 years ago, there was a whole thing with the online space and copyright. So people and mashups and all that kind of stuff. You couldn't use this person's song or this person's image and now it's almost like then there was an argument for Creative Commons, where people would create content and then anybody could use it.
Yeah.
Now everything is like, no, you can't stop it as far as, like, licensing. And you get Twitter and someone mashes up a song with a video clip of some movie. You know what I mean?
Well, the beginning of our pod, we've taken
is that Sony?
Morpheus,
is that
right?
Sony Pictures? I don't know. Someone could come after us.
Somebody's going to come. Yeah, you're going to take us for all we've got.
Yeah.
But nothing but an accent. But I mean, we use Morpheus, and, well, not to be fair, you made the song, so.
No, yeah.
So it's yours.
Yeah. I guess the argument is, like, all that,
the mashup stuff. So
the mashup stuff, all that content is really just eventually becomes owned by everyone.
So let's say I decided, let's say I had the skills to, like, sample a Rolling Stones song, and, like, there must be some royalty still in that. Like,
oh no, well there
does that work?
There is, but how do they get everybody? So
you
couldn't have, like, if we got big, which is not going to happen, but if we had a Rolling Stone song as our backing thing, and then
Mick give us a call,
and then we ended up getting 1 million followers or something stupid, then someone would notice.
I've met Mick Jagger.
You haven't?
I have met Mick Jagger. So when I was, it's not as cool a story as it sounds. Well, do you want to know?
No. Probably not now. Don't worry. If it's not that cool, no, tell me. You don't say I've met Mick Jagger and not tell me a story.
It's quite exciting. I'm a big Stones fan. So when I was a student in Edinburgh, my part-time job was what do you call it?
Fluffer.
Fluffer.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I was what do you call it? I was good at the fucking job. Like, security at I'm not a big guy, like stadium stuff, you know, the stuff when you just point, there's your seat over there, champ, go sit down. Usher. No, but like what they call,
I thought it was an usher, isn't it?
Well, whatever. An usher's in a theatre. You're posher than me. I'm talking about a stadium where it's watching the football.
A guide.
Yeah, whatever they're called. Anyway, I was one of them.
A pointer.
Yeah, basically a guy who knew what A6 was and could point. That was my.
That's a fucking usher.
No, it's not. That's in a theatre. You're too posh. Like, was it called like a? What is it called? Anyway, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Whatever they're called. But some of the people who are doing that job, and no disrespect to anybody, but like, if you can, hold a conversation with people and be polite and all that kind of stuff, you got the so-called more important, better jobs, right?
Yeah.
So I got stage door, Rolling Stones and Sheryl Crow, Murrayfield in Edinburgh, and
Murrayfield, isn't he the Wiggles?
No, not Murrayfield. Murrayfield, the sports stadium.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure Murrayfield.
Is it? Is that
No,
really?
no, that's
the
Anthony
red one
Field.
from the Wiggles.
Yeah, no, he's just Murray. I've mixed Anthony and Murray. Sorry, Murray.
Anyway,
Sorry.
I've lost. So they are in somewhere else. Sheffield. The same story.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so I got to meet. I didn't meet all of them.
As
or
in,
meet.
what do you mean by meet?
Hello,
As in,
shake your hand. There's
hello,
the door.
sir, and
yeah,
you open the door
basically.
for him.
But like, yeah,
Did
I'm
he
not
say
saying we
g'day-
stayed for.
g'day, mate?
He didn't just stop for a meal or anything.
Yeah.
No, why would he say good day, mate? I was in Scotland and England, and he's English. So
That
yeah,
was me doing an English accent.
All right.
Good day, mate.
Because they're famous for saying that.
I don't know.
Anyway, so that's my Mick Jagger story. But
That's a shit story.
I told you it wasn't a good story. But it was quite exciting for me.
No, I bet. That's awesome.
It wasn't. I don't think he tells it at dinner parties.
Yeah. Do you know what? Actually, the most famous person I've and I didn't even meet him was Chris.
I hope this is a crap story.
Chris Hemsworth.
Okay. Well, that's.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not big on him, but
No,
but yeah, I do appreciate he's famous.
Yeah. I was in Motorvale Coles, walking into Motorvale Coles.
Yeah.
And this is like 20 years ago when he was on Home and Away.
I didn't even know he was on. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's where he got his start. So,
okay.
So I was walking in, he was walking out, and it was one of those things where we kind of got in each other's way, and I just went, "Oh, sorry, man." And then as he walked away, I'm like, "Oh, that's that Home and Away dude."
Whoa.
That's my biggest
I am
celebrity.
blown away.
And at the time, he was a nobody celebrity, but now he's Thor. So
There you go. Well, that's somebody's going to be impressed by Thor.
so Chris, if you're listening,
Has just said you're not big on him. Okay,
All
I
right.
just speak about myself in the third person there. That's not good. How do you do that when you're not using it when you're using the them? Anyway, whatever. Right. So that's what are we talking about? Property. That was one thing.
property.
That's
Yeah,
probably
we should
done.
probably stay on topic, shouldn't we?
But I think that's done. But I'm just. The point is, if you're thinking you're getting rich owning your house, you're not.
Yeah.
Breaking it down, and you're getting richer than people that are holding the money in cash in their bank account. But
Yeah.
other than that, that's not happening.
Yeah, totally. All right,
Just have a think about that one.
Yeah. You mentioned maybe talking about a couple of good tweets that you've read lately. So maybe throw out a couple of them.
Well, this first one, sorry, it sort of just feeds into the property one. So this is from a guy called Charlie Bellello.
Charles Hopkinson? No, who's
No.
that? Is that the
Hodgkinson.
Hodgkinson? Hoskinson?
I don't care. So Charlie is what is he? The founder and CEO of Compound Capital Advice. All right, he's a big guy, a big cheese. Right. Anyway, he put out this tweet about global inflation rates, right? And they start. So this is CPI. So bear in mind CPI. For CPI, read bullshit. Because it's low. It's on the low end because they never use indicators that actually
Indicate.
Yeah, basically, it's never like they don't include figures in CPI. They're trying to make a statistic tell a story, right? So they'll include indicators that feed into the number of the story that they want to tell.
Do you know what I love about statistics? Is that
I can't say, and I've got a degree in it.
No. They can be so accurate and so manipulated.
Yeah.
At the same fucking time.
So as an ex-public procurement guy,
Yeah.
we used to use CPI as a if you're for any contract increases.
Yeah.
Annual contract increases, we used to limit them to CPI.
Yep.
The reason we limited them to CPI was because we knew that it was bullshit and it was on the low end. So we knew that essentially, if we're limiting to CPI, we were always getting better off, and the suppliers getting worse off.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not employed anymore, so do what you like. I don't care.
That's right.
Fire me. Right. So.
But that, you know what? That's you doing your job well.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But then I would. So anyway, this tweet is this global inflation rate, CPI year over year, and there's 40 or 30 countries in here. Starts at Japan at negative 0.4% CPI. So okay, but and then we go up one to I don't know, say 15 countries to get to Ireland at 2.8% CPI. CPI, bear in mind, CPI isn't real. So the real number's 10, 12, 15.
Yeah. Can we go back? So CPI is Consumer Price Index.
Yes,
Yes.
excuse me. Yeah.
Can you actually explain that a little bit better to me?
So it
is the indicator of general inflation.
it's a basket of goods, right? So they take, and I couldn't. There's 30 or something countries in here, and every country I'm sure, I don't know this to be true, but I'm pretty confident every country will determine their own basket of goods to measure their CPI number, right? You with me?
Yeah, bread,
so,
milk.
Yeah, right. Yeah, electricity or whatever you choose to chuck in there, right?
Yeah.
So you take that basket. Like, what was it? What were the prices this time last year?
Yep.
What are the prices this year? Combine them all together and using the formula that you've created,
average,
and then give you an overall CPI number for your country, right?
Yep.
So consumer prices index.
And that gives you an indication of the general inflationary environment of your country, yeah?
We're talking 2.8% in Ireland. Then you've got UK 3.2, Australia 3.8, Spain 4, Canada 4.1, South Africa 4.9, the US 5.4%, Poland 5.8, Russia 7.4, Brazil 10. This is getting up near the top end. Brazil 10.3, Turkey 19.6, Argentina 51.4, and Venezuela 2,719.5%. Now, interestingly, Turkey 19.6. So this is going to make the conversation interesting next week, right? So put it this way: if prices are going, that's what I was trying to say. If prices are going up faster than your income is going up, you're losing, right? That's what I was trying to say. That what I was making a complete tit of before. So if you got a 5% pay rise, even in South Africa where CPI is supposedly 4.9, in theory you're getting ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
Venezuela.
If you're getting a 5% pay rise in Venezuela, I mean, we shouldn't laugh. Like, I mean, you're literally running from the job to the bread shop to get bread to feed your family for the morning.
Was it Lebanon that's having a massive issue at the moment? They're
but they're not on the list, so I don't know what the number would be for Lebanon, but it would be up the top end.
Yeah,
it would be. I think I read like 80% numbers was what I think.
It's quite amazing that doesn't get reported. Like,
not really. Yeah, exactly.
But not like sort of as a main, breaking news kind of issue. Like,
no,
people
because
are trying to break down bank doors and stuff.
Yeah. So, but what they report is, there's been a power outage in Lebanon, in Beirut.
Yeah.
Or it's a supply chain issue because of, oil, or it's, there was an explosion however long ago the explosion was, and people are still trying to recover from it.
Yeah.
And now they've got an inflationary. They don't join the dots.
Yeah.
So actually, it's a currency collapse. That's what they have.
Yeah.
Right. And why have you got a currency collapse? Because the person who's printing the currency is printing far more than the country can absorb.
Do you follow Alex Gladstein?
The guy from the Human Rights Foundation.
Yeah,
he's great.
He is great, and that's actually where I get a lot of my info. Is just like he tends to share all of that stuff. So.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just a really and bear in mind that those numbers. So let's take it from the US upwards. US at 5.4 up to Poland, Mexico, Russia, Brazil, Turkey, Argentina, and Venezuela up at 2,719.5.
That's such a massive jump.
Everybody in those countries are getting poorer. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
Yeah.
I say everybody. 95% of people. And that is kind of concentrated at the lower end of society, and also, but that was starting at the lower end and working its way up.
Yeah.
So your 1%ers, Jeff or somebody, Bezos, but he's doing all right. Bezos, well, they don't have to do with both doing all right, but like Bezos, so he's not struggling, but so everybody's getting smashed, quite frankly, and those numbers are wrong to the downside because the government will want that number to be wrong to the downside.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
So
okay.
You're getting smashed. You're getting smashed more than you think you're being smashed.
Yeah.
Which is frightening, right?
Yeah.
So, thank you, Charlie. Never come across Charlie before, but that's good. Another one, I've got one from a guy called Michael B. Bitcoin Rehani. Okay, so Michael is come on, Twitter. Product manager at Cash App.
Okay.
Oh, he had a really great tweet today, actually. Anyway, that's a different thing. Or maybe it was from this one. It took 20 years. Now, I've seen this from other people too, but it's a good tweet. So it was a big tweet thread. So yeah, go have a check this. It took 20 years for 1.8 million Salvadorans to have a bank account. It took 20 days for 2.2 million Salvadorans to have a Bitcoin wallet.
Oh, say that again.
20 years
Yeah.
for 1.8 million people from El Salvador to get a bank account. So I think there's like 6.5 million people in El Salvador.
Yeah.
And only 1.8 million of them were banked. Everybody else is operating outside of the banking system.
Wow.
Right? And it took 20 days for 2.2 million to have a Bitcoin wallet.
Yeah. That's
right.
That's a great tweet.
That is a great tweet. Go on, Michael. I love it. And yeah, that's just awesome.
Yeah.
This is another one from a guy called Deadpool Bitcoin. And this is kind of back to what I was saying before. And his tweet was, I get overwhelmed thinking of all the people I can't save.
Yep.
I don't know how to save.
You can.
Sorry, yeah. That's, I get that too.
Yeah.
I totally get that feeling all the time. And it sucks. It's a terrible feeling. You feel like you got friends, you got family, your people you're looking out for, and they think that you're, I don't know what they think.
Obsessed.
Yeah, they do that. That's true. That part's true.
But you know what? Like sometimes I wonder if I'm a bit over obsessed as well. And it's not that I don't want to be, because I love it. You know, like it's the answer to so many problems. But if I was,
I think I could engineer an argument to say it's the answer to every problem. I genuinely believe that.
Oh, probably, yeah.
But you know,
but
not the answer.
Yeah, but if I go back 2 years, right?
Yep.
If I talk to me now, I'd be like, "Fuck,
who's this guy?
Brendo going on about Bitcoin again?"
Is that how I came across though? Must have been.
No, not really. Not really. To be honest, like you were very.
Go on, tell the truth. What's the
No,
truth?
honestly, I think you were quite good at being, I guess, holding yourself back a little bit. But
probably because I've been told to.
But maybe. But as I've said before, like I had always had a bit of an interest or.
So you were. Yeah, so you were
and enough to want to hear what you wanted to say.
That's the difference, isn't it? So it's the willingness.
Yeah,
it's the willingness, right?
Yeah.
So and I think that's going back to Deadpool Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I think it's a great tweet, and I feel that too. But here's, for what it's worth, my advice is: if people are genuinely not wanting to listen to you, don't keep going to them, because it's not you're not helping your relationships or whatever.
No,
but that's
where I'm at now.
If you still really, really care for that person, buy them $50 and put it on a coin kite open diamond, just put it in your somewhere and give it to them in 10 years and tell them, there you go, you should have been listening to me 10 years ago. But
I should do that.
We should all do that.
But then, you know what, if I go do that now, right, so let's say my sister, for example, if I do that now,
the one I tried to dox last time,
yeah, and then in 5-10 years time, it's where we think it's going to be, and she's still the same sister, I'll be like,
let's keep it in the drawer. Keep it in the drawer. Totally. No, you won't know. Yeah. You want to, but you won't.
I know.
Because you'll love that. You'll love the fact that you're right. You just love the fact of being right. And that's what I say to people.
And at that stage, she'll know I'm right.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And even if she doesn't admit it, she will know.
Yeah.
So, and that's all right. That's all right. Sometimes you just have to be the bigger person. I've heard.
Nah.
I've never done it. What was it? The Stay Humble Stack Yachts. Yeah, that's. I think so. The people who genuinely don't want to hear you, just ease up. The people who are sort of softened to it, go for them, but try and find the angle that they care about. And it doesn't have to be anything to do with Bitcoin. Let's say you're talking to, a farmer. Talk about, regenerative agriculture and why Bitcoiners are getting into that. Or if you're talking to, somebody who likes to collect stamps, they understand scarcity, right? Or if you're talking to somebody about you're talking to somebody who's into sport. Talk about the sport, the guys, the NFL guys who are.
There's some big soccer player as well lately. I don't know.
Is there?
Yeah, he did like a poll. He goes, all right, Bitcoin or Ethereum, and then.
Oh right, okay. Yeah. But getting there, it's a start.
Oh, totally. He's got the laser eyes and.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just go down the angle that they can, not the angle that you care about. if somebody's talking to you about housing,
Yeah.
go down the housing angle.
Yeah.
Right, and so explain the thing that they care about, not the thing that you care about.
Yeah.
And that's, you have to get, the only way you can do that is by learning yourself. Like, not learning about yourself, like learning the subject yourself.
But it's also very hard, I guess, to distinguish, or for them to kind of distinguish or see that you're genuinely doing it from a place of love and care and not
Just pumping your own bags.
exactly.
Right,
And that's where I think a lot of people go, no, like right now we're going, well, just go and do this and talk to that person and stuff. But anyone, like an outsider, could listen to this and go, oh, they're just...
So
like
I've got an answer for that, because
Yeah.
I've got an answer for that, right?
Yeah.
So if you feel that somebody is thinking, oh, here's Brendo again, just tell me what to buy because he's got it and he wants his to be worth more. If literally every single person I have, other than Jagger maybe, because I have met Jagger, but if literally every single person you've met in the world, you could convince all of those people to take 100% of their wealth and buy Bitcoin, it wouldn't move the price. Wouldn't move the price.
What do you mean? Explain that.
Because, well, Michael Saylor has bought $3.5 billion worth of Bitcoin
Yeah.
and hasn't not really moved the price. He did it in a, you can do it in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
even somebody, you see sales, buys and sales go through that don't, like, massive. You ever follow that account? It's what's that called? Wrecked. And it'll see people shorting and they're getting wrecked, but it's not moving the price. The people, like, the price is moving. They're not the one who's moved the price, right? So you could, I don't know what, like, I don't even know, like, what does Bitcoin turn over in a day? It's going to be massive, right? The liquidity there in the market is massive, right?
Yeah.
So my point is, if literally everybody you know,
makes
other
no-
than me
it
knowing
makes no-
clearly Mick, right,
It
or
makes
Michael,
basically
as
it
I
makes no
like to-
difference. You're
No
not
difference.
gaining anything.
There's
out of-
nothing that there's no gain in it for you.
Yeah.
Um,
One thing I've thought about too, and this is digressing a little bit,
go for it.
is that people go, because I've had colleagues say, well, if there's only 21 million of them, like, what happens when they're all gone and all that kind of stuff, like, and there's not enough for everybody. But what I think will happen is, as the price goes up, that will naturally distribute, because people at certain points will sell. And
so some will sell, yeah, but even the hardest of us will spend, right? We won't sell, we'll spend,
totally,
right?
yeah, sorry, yeah.
No, but you're right.
But
Some
as
will sell.
price increases,
Yes.
it distributes more.
Yes. So
It's perfect.
I mean, it really is. Like, but so rich people get fat and lazy. Not all of them, of course. Some work, but a lot of them get fat and lazy, right? And so let's say you become uber wealthy. You have the fanciest pool in town. Are you going to clean that yourself?
Fuck no.
No, you're not, right? Because you're a fat, lazy Brendo, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to have, like Keith or Peter Schiff or
Alan.
Raoul or one of them, just hanky around as they'll be your pool boy.
Yes.
Okay. And they'll have to earn a living in
I'll
the
go
future
for-
because they don't have
I'll
one.
take Portnoy.
Portnoy. Oh God.
What's he doing? I don't even know.
don't know.
I don't follow him anymore.
Yeah. But Tim, could you deal with Portnoy coming around your house?
No, probably not.
But so my point is, you're gonna have somebody coming around to clean your pool because you're fat and lazy, right?
Yeah.
So, and the only currency at that point that they will accept is Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Okay, or Sats by that point, right?
Yeah.
PortnoySats.com,
Yeah.
right? Okay, go get it. So, and people would say, well, why is that different from now? Well, the reason it's different from now is because the really rich people right now get the benefit of the money printing, right? Because, and they might not get the money directly, but what they get is like debt at 0% interest. Whereas you go for a mortgage in your house, the rates are low, but you're not getting 0%,
No.
right? Yeah. So the rich get debt cheaper. So that's essentially just getting the money straight from the money printer, right?
Yeah.
So they're benefiting from being close to the money printer.
Yeah.
But when there is no money printer, there is going to be new Bitcoin, but increasingly less over time.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
So ultimately, the Bitcoin is going to redistribute to. Don't get me wrong. There are going to be rich and poor. Bitcoin does not solve the problem of rich and poor. There are going to be rich and poor people in the future. The difference is, the rich people are either early Bitcoiners, but even they will get fat and lazy and they'll distribute. But so the genuinely rich people will be the ones who work and provide a service or a product or service that people value.
Yeah.
Is that not who we want to have the wealth?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So, so that, yeah, I think you can beat that argument down too if people say,
it's a great equalizer.
it is. No, it's not going to happen.
Or the level playing field, I suppose, is a better.
That's exactly
better
it. So
point.
it's
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
meritocracy rather than
Yes.
what I'm trying to say, like everybody having the same
Equitable.
communism.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
'cause it's like it's not equality in that sense. It's equality of opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not all the same. We never will be all the same.
No.
Like I'm always going to be better looking than you. Right, I
You
got
and your bandana.
my bandana. Yeah.
Actually, that's not a hat. Does that count as a hat?
I don't know. I
Stacking
like having
bandanas.
things on my head. So
All right.
Glenn Hoddle. Have you followed Glenn Hoddle? Do you know who Glenn Hoddle is? Firstly,
No. Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't
He's
actually look at
football-
everybody.
No. But Glenn Hoddle. Yeah, there is a person called Glenn Hoddle.
That's his actual name.
No, there is a person in the world called Glenn Hoddle. He
Oh.
was a English footballer.
Called
Really
Hoddle.
Hoddle, yeah, but Hoddle.
Oh, wow.
Right,
Okay.
so Glenn Hoddle.
Yeah, yeah.
Really good football. English is tough for a Scottish guy to admit. Good footballer, terrible man, not a great manager. But Chelsea, Tottenham, I don't know who else, somebody else. But this guy is called Glenn. Hopefully his name is Glenn, and he's called his name Glenn Hoddle. That's a great name.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, okay.
if you get the joke, but it's a good joke, right? So this is his tweet. This is a beast. This one, right? If Bitcoin is eventually distributed the same as fiat wealth is today, the bottom 55% of the population will be sharing 273,000 coins. So there's a more, right?
The bottom what?
The bottom
50
55%. So what he's saying is, based on, he must have looked at it and gone, okay, what percentage of total wealth is currently held by, 55% of the population, right?
Yeah.
And then applied that to the 21 million coins of Bitcoin.
Okay.
And he's worked out that there's 273,000 coins
Yeah.
based on the current distribution of wealth
Yeah.
with fiat money, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so bear that in mind. That being the case, paraphrase, that be the case, 6,348 satoshis per person. I know.
Evenly distributed.
Yes, absolutely. So, and what he's saying is that this is what we need to beat. Most El Salvadorans already have, and I to call it correct, Glenn, I think it's just Salvadorans.
Yes.
Because I didn't know and I did that too. But I think that's true. Most Salvadorans already have 10 times that, right?
Yeah, wow.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So you need to have,
Low time preference.
of course, but you need to have, in the future, you need 6,348 sats per person. Now, in Australia right now, I think I'm right in saying it's about 1,200 sats to the dollar.
About that.
So we're
Pretty
talking
much.
$5. Right? $5. To be average in the
Bitcoin
future,
right now.
go on to either Clark's or Bitbo. If your purpose of Brendo is making good radio,
What am I saying? 77?
how many sats per dollar right now in Australia?
Oh, shit. Sorry. Oh, can I do that on Bitbo?
Yeah. Scroll down a little bit. Just look away from the price for a second.
I do that and market cap, and that's it. Sats, yeah, 12.93.
There you go,
That's
that's a good
There you
guess,
go.
right?
I didn't even know they had that.
Okay,
That's
so
good.
sats per, and there's also a Twitter handle called sats per dollar, I'm sure, but that's US
Yeah,
dollar.
well, that's where I was going. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, so
No,
that's-
no, there's sats per Aussie dollar too.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So, what did you say?
12.93.
30,000, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So 1,300, excuse me.
Yeah.
So you need 6,348 sats per person, based on the distribution of wealth currently, to be average in the future. $5. You need to spend $5
Right now.
on Bitcoin today to be average in the future, and if you want to be better than average in the future, spend $6. Right? That's it. That's it.
That might be our little audio there.
Unbelievable.
That's
That's
great.
mind blowing. Well done,
That
Glenn.
is good. That is a good one.
Well done. I love that.
Yeah.
All
right. Have we got any more?
I got 2 more. I actually got 3 more. If that's all right. Keep going.
Go for it. Why not?
Okay. So
No one's listening.
yeah, true. What we're thinking actually is we'll do So it's just me that's done this today. I've only done this today, but we're thinking we might, maybe not every week, or every second week, but we're hoping to do
when we
guest,
when we just have our chats. I think it might be good to have
this sort of thing.
A couple, yeah.
We're doing too many here.
Well, maybe not.
Anyway, I like it.
Do you know what? Like the people that are potentially listening to us,
if you're still listening now, you like this, right?
Exactly. They've probably seen.
They've probably read these tweets, right? But
so basically, let's just read our entire Twitter feed.
Yeah. No, but these are the
Episode
ones.
10. My Twitter feed.
These are the ones that I'm like really resonating with. I'm going, that's great, right?
Yes, fair enough.
James Vigiano.
Vigiano.
But he's in New Zealand.
Oh.
So he's an Italian.
Vigiano. Virgin. Sorry.
Sorry, James.
Yeah.
It's a great tweet, mate. I'm going to read it. New Zealand.
Sorry, Jims. That's terrible.
Yeah, that wasn't very good. No. We're not going to do it. This isn't going to be a show for
I can't do Mick Jagger and I can't do New Zealanders.
Did you try to Mick Jagger?
Yeah, I went, good day, mate.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Right, so I'm going to get this out. Right. New Zealand's Sovereign Wealth Fund just released its annual report titled Seeing the Big Picture. An odd choice because there's no mention of Bitcoin anywhere. Despite it being on the radar since 2013 when I worked there, it's almost negligent that they're ignoring it. I mean, the only word I disagree with there is almost.
Oh.
It's unbelievable. Seeing the big picture and not mentioning Bitcoin.
The big picture.
Like if that's your actual job, like it's okay if you're, I don't know.
Oh, a futurist. That title, people that call themselves futurists, if they're not talking about Bitcoin.
Oh, right. Mental.
Yeah.
That's like
they're not futurists.
Rocking up to work as a doctor and not knowing what a needle is.
Yeah,
or something, It's a crap analogy. Crapanalogies.com.
Not one of your best hats.
No. Okay.
All right, how many more? I think we need to wrap this up.
One more, and then I want to do Dick of the Day or something like that. Right?
Yeah. Is that me because I try to get you shut
me.
up? No, okay.
Sam Callahan. With this in mind, it's a thread again. Oh, actually, but Sam Callahan, who I didn't know of Sam Callahan before today, he's at Swan.
Okay.
So, good company if you're in the States. SwanBitcoin.com. / Sam Callahan, because he's got his own little thing. With this in mind, so there's a whole thread again, but with this in mind, let's look at how bonds are performing in today's environment. Negative yielding bonds, global bonds, across the globe, are at an all-time record, exceeding $18 trillion. Negative yielding bonds are... Nobody
buys negative yielding bonds.
$18 trillion says they do.
Why would you buy a negative yielding bond?
It's a great point you make there, Brendo.
Well, it's a genuine question.
You tell me.
Missing something.
No, right, okay, tell me the answer. Well, let's work this one out live.
Yes.
Why? No, you tell me. Why
would I want a negative yielding bond?
Why would you want a negative yielding bond?
I'm asking you the question.
Right. No, I'm asking you to answer your own question.
Well, I can't. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, right.
Why would I ask a question?
Okay, so 2 reasons.
Yes.
Well, ignorance.
Yes.
And inertia.
Okay.
That's the only 2 reasons you want a negative yielding bond, right?
So government, and again, this is my inexperience and lack of knowledge with any form of investment. People buy bonds because it's a quote unquote sure thing, quote unquote sure thing with a bugger all interest rate. So you get some back. So like 1%, 2%.
Yeah. So the thinking is the lower the level of risk, the lesser level of return you should get.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, if something is an absolute sure thing, sun is going to rise tomorrow, hopefully, then you're not going to get a great return on it, right? If your horse has won the last 4,000 races,
high risk, high return, low risk,
rate's not going to be right. But if the horse has got 3 legs, you'll get good odds on that, right? So the idea is that government bonds. So that's basically how governments fund themselves. They write an IOU and offer an interest rate, and people buy the bonds. Yeah, people, businesses, funds, other countries. Yeah, right. So, and that's just to where do I park my money? Essentially, that it's safe.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and also So some people will be buying bonds thinking that the rate's going to go get worse. So you can actually sell that bond and make the profit on the fact that the rate got worse.
Oh, really?
Okay, so some people, yeah. So, but to buy, what did I say? 18, or what did Sam say? $18 trillion worth of negative yielding bonds. 18, think about that. So you put what that means to anybody who doesn't understand bonds at all, if you've got £1,000 or dollars or yen or whatever you got, and you put it in the bank today, you come back next year and you've got 995.
Yes.
And that is what you were promised. That's not like a surprise. That's what you were promised this year. And you've done that because you think that's the safest place. You think everything else is so bad that is the safest place for you to put your money.
So the people that are buying those negative yielding bonds are not buying Bitcoin. They think that's the safest.
Absolutely,
spot to put their
yes.
money. Wow.
Now, wait till somebody breaks ranks.
What do you mean?
So let's say you're a hedge fund, right? And you're having to outperform. You're judged on. These guys are egos, right? That's all they care about, really. And so let's say you want to have the best return for your clients in the hedge fund. Well, actually, you want the best return for yourself, but you want to publicize that you're the best performing hedge fund in the market, right? So let's say one hedge fund breaks ranks and says, "No, fuck it, I'm not having a negative yielding bond and going back to my clients this time next year and telling them I've lost them, 2% or whatever. I'm going to buy 5% of the portfolio in Bitcoin."
Yeah.
Frankly, but in anything, not a negative yielding bond. But so when one does it,
domino.
It's just the other. It's just the next domino, right?
Yeah.
So like your hedge funds and your family offices, your individual investors, your companies where you've got a Michael Saylor, you've got a controlling stake in your business. All these guys can do it quickly. Quickly. What did Saylor take, 6 months or something? But like you and I could decide, get a bank, get our money and go buy Bitcoin today.
Yeah.
But the further into regulation you go, that gets harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
So it takes longer. But the point is, people will break ranks at some point. And when one does, they all have to. It's a bit like the working from home thing, right? If there are two, if you got an industry where you've got two big companies competing with each other, right?
Yeah.
And one of them says, we're going to work from home forever. Well, they just cut their cost base by 14% because they don't have to pay for the offices, the power, the transport, or whatever they've done, right? They've saved a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So they either they keep it in their pocket, which is wonderful, or they pass on some of it to the customers. They pass on some of it to the customers. Where does the customer go to? The cheaper option, right? So the other business has to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't have an option.
It's just competitive forces.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
Wait till the 18 trillion worth of negative yielding bond. Now, what's the value of what's the market size of Bitcoin right now? 1.2 trillion or something. I don't know.
What, US?
Yeah, have a look.
1.08.
1.08. Okay, there you go. So the negative yielding bond market, and I'm not talking all bonds. I'm just talking the negative yielding bonds, right?
That's ludicrous,
right? So the negative yield. No, you go out. So you go further along the risk curve, I guess that would be called. You might be buying a bond from Argentina, right?
Yeah.
And, a country that's probably going to offer you a good return, but it's defaulted, 3 times in the last 15 minutes. So there's a different decision to be made there. So I would say Bitcoin is certainly a less risky option than buying a bond from a country that's regularly defaulted on their currency, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, dick of the day.
Dick of the day.
And this really pains me because the movie is wonderful. The Big Short is...
But is it Burry or Burry?
Oh, God. Michael Burry.
Yes.
Michael J. Burry.
Stay in front of the mic. Yeah.
Michael J. Burry. Cassandra on Twitter.
Yeah.
He has blocked Michael Saylor.
He's blocking everyone.
Yeah, I know. He's just a flake. But I mean, I can understand if you don't want to hear some of the toxic stuff from me.
I've never seen Saylor particular.
No, I don't mean.
all.
I don't know. I just mean from some people. I like the toxic people, but I could understand if you maybe don't want that in your feed or whatever. Like block some of the toxic guys and block me, whatever. But don't go blocking somebody. Like how much is that guy brought to the table?
Yeah.
Even if you're just learning from him, unbelievable. Why would you do that?
Ego.
Dick of the day. And
Dick of the day. That's good. Dick of the day has got to be a weekly thing, I think, or a fortnightly thing.
And for some people, it already is. So
yeah.
Yeah. On that happy note.
Yeah. All right. You reckon that's it?
I don't know how long's that been. Ages.
2 hours. No, I'm kidding. It's an hour 20. For some reason, Logic has an extra 1 at the front of the timestamp thing. So
okay.
That's pretty good. Hour 20.
Cool. Thanks, guys. So next week we plan to have, I think you say Efficini.
Oh, is that it? I thought it was Ezzy or something.
EFECINI.
Yep.
On the pod. Really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Should be a good chat. And then we'll probably have, us again talking about random stuff. Me reading Twitter.
I think you need to get a bar fridge down here or just a whiskey bottle.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're 2 beers down. I'm finished ages ago, so.
A couple, 3. I had one at home as well. So.
Okay. And then beyond that, we've got another good one coming up in the beginning of November. So, but we're just
don't show all our cards, hats.
Cool. Okay.
All right. Did I dox you this episode?
Don't know.
I don't think I did. All right.
I don't think so.
All right. Thanks, everyone.